Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back if you joined already the session of this morning. This afternoon, we will talk, or my colleagues will talk about the IT tools in the CEN environment. So the housekeeping rules are again the same. I will be moderating the webinar in the background. As you know, we organized this event for the newly appointed technical body officers, but we invited all of the TBO officers to this training. But this session will overview all of the important CEN IT tools for you. So on the slide, you see my colleagues Anna, Elisa, and Eric. And Mark is not on the picture because he's an external consultant helping us out with IT tools. So he will also be presenting part of this presentation. The presentation is foreseen to last until 4 o'clock, but since there is another presentation just following right after, we will close down 5 minutes before in order to be on time. You will be muted during the presentation, so again, please enter your questions in the Q&A panel, should you have questions. The speakers will have a look at your questions after the presentation. Should your question remain unreplied, don't worry, because we will create a Q&A report that we will upload on the website and you will be informed once it is available. So before we take off, I would like to launch another poll because we would like to know from you how experienced you are with the CEN IT tools, because like I said, we are organizing this presentation for the newly appointed officers, but maybe you already used it for a while. So please let us know if you're a frequent user, if you used it for a little while, or you have seen others using it, or you really never used one single IT tool before. So by the way, I'm very happy to see this afternoon 69 persons attending. So it's a bit normal that not all of them are new, of course, but let me end the poll and show you the results right away. And where we see that the audience is quite balanced. Some of them, most of them, let's say, used a little bit of the IT tools. Only a few used never before one of the IT tools. So, okay, without further ado, I would like to start and open the agenda for today. So please, speakers, I don't know who is starting, but go ahead.
Okay, thank you, Els. I will just give some words about the agenda. So we will first start with the e-committee, and then the second IT tool is the committee internal balloting, the CIB. Then small information about projects online and the working area. We will continue with the CEN meeting registration system, then the Zoom web conferences, the quick search, and the last one we will give you some forthcoming evolution. So I will give the floor to my colleague Marc Bellier, who will talk about e-committee.
Thank you, Elisa. I will share my screen because there will be a small live demo. Okay, so we will talk about the e-committees platform. First of all, we need to know what is the purpose of this platform. The main goal of this tool is to provide you as a TBO officer and the members of your committee or working group a stable platform to exchange documents. It is supported by a tool called Content Server for the company OpenText, but we often refer to it as a live link because it was the previous name of the product. So you will often hear about live link. So what do we mean by controlled environment? First of all, access to this platform is role-based. So you need to have a role in the committee as defined in the global directory to be able to access the platform for your committee. The structure, the main structure of the library for these documents is fixed. So all committees have the same structure. Under these basic folders, of course, the secretary or the convener of the group may create other folders to organize his documentation. The system provides also an automatic rendition of conversion of Word documents to PDF and generates cover sheets if needed. And an important feature of the system is the handling of what we call N numbers. It means that all official documents are numbered and the circulation is controlled. It means that once a document has been officially published and notified, it cannot be changed anymore. So this makes sure that everybody has the same version of the document. Now, this is the home page of a committee. All the committees have this the same structure of home page, where you have a navigation menu on the left, the library where all documents will be kept. You have links to ballots of your committees if there are some ballots opened, also links to open meetings, and some additional information like the scope of the committee and the structure of the committee when you have working groups or subcommittees under your TC. So I will switch to my screen to work. So there are different ways to access the software. Here I will access it via our portal. I'm logged here as a secretary for a TC. Now, the platform is called CENTC Working Areas because this is the old name. But a quick way to access the committees where you work in, because here you have the full list, which is quite long, is to go to the personal menu and to click on committees. And here you have a list of the committees where you have a role. So I will, by the way, this is the test environment, so don't be surprised by the names of the committees and the names of some users. So here we find our menu, as I said before, the library where most of the work happens, and here we have links to some ballots and some meetings in this committee. Now, these folders are of two types. We have general folders where you can upload any kind of documents. The Secretary Workspace is kind of scratchpad for you. You can upload work documents, draft documents, so they are stored in a safe place, but not ready yet to be published. There is a folder where you can upload general information. Why is this called the public information? Because this folder is also visible to people outside of your committee. So other people logged into the LiveLink system may see information that's put in there. Now we come to what we call the N folders. These folders are folders where you only can upload what we call N documents. This means that a process, I won't show it here because we don't have much time, but the idea basically is that you upload a work document, then the system converts it, if possible, to a PDF. Then when this conversion is done, you have the possibility to notify it to the members of your committee. And once this notification has been sent, the document is publicly available for them to access and to download. As long as the document is not notified, it is not visible to, it's only visible to the committee secretary or the working group secretary and conveners. It's not visible to the members of the group. So basically, this is what's done in this library. As I said before, You can organize, you can create subfolders if you want to organize your information in a more structured way inside the existing structure. Now, let's say a few words about the options you have in this navigation menu. You have some links to other Sen applications like Projects Online or the portals that I showed you before. You have here a link to the user guides. There are a few documents, a quick start, a reference manual for this application. So for more detailed information, this is a place to go. Now, end document list is another way of showing all the end documents in your committee or working group. It allows you to select a lot of criteria to search for these documents. And by the way, when you create an end document, you have to specify a few metadata like the document type or subtype. And these metadata can be used to refine the search for a document. So this is important to structure the way you work. Now, this is an document list, and here you have the option to notify. This is where you notify your documents. So this list shows you the documents that have not been notified yet, so they are not yet visible for your members. And the idea is to select the document or a few documents that you want to notify and click on the send notification. Then you can choose who will receive the notification. And this is the kind of mail that they will receive with links to the documents. So basically that's what I wanted to show you on this committee. I will show you two small other information. Oh yeah, there's still one thing that's interesting here is the member list. It shows you all people who have access and the roles they have in your committee. Now, to show you another committee, this is to show you that one thing you have to know is that some committees are hosted on other platforms than Sen platform, meaning DIN and AFNOR. And this is the way the committee appears if this is the case. If you select one of these committees or working groups, you will find that there's no library here, so you cannot work on this server. You just have to follow the link to access these committees on the server where they are hosted. So that's all for the demo. Here I will quickly review if I showed you everything that was foreseen. We talked about 10 folders and of the end document process. Oh yeah, one thing I didn't mention is that there is a one of the folders is a drop-in box for members. This is the only place where members of the committee or the working group can upload documents. And then it's the job of the secretary to manage these documents, to review them, and maybe to publish them as end documents if it is needed. Here, a more detailed overview of all the options in the committee's menu. I talked about the external hosts. And now a few words about the future, because what I just showed you will change in the first half of next year. So you will have a short experience with this program. So here are a few words about this new platform that we are working on with ISO. By the way, ISO has already deployed it. It will be a common environment. So instead of having committees on different servers as it is before, all committees will be located on the same group of servers managed by ISO. So there will no more be an external link to AFNOR, to DIN, and it will be possible to perform common searches between CEN and ISO committees or working groups. This will imply a change of technology. We will leave good old LiveLink to go to a new product that's called Nuxeo. We will also have an enhanced search tool that is called Elasticsearch. And as you see, the look of the application is somewhat different, even if the main principles are the same. We still have a fixed structure of folders. We still have controlled access, role-based control access. But we have a lot, sorry, we have a lot of improvements. There will be more metadata that can be defined on the documents. There will also be direct links to other applications. For example, if you upload the agenda for a meeting, it will be possible to specify in this associate to this document a link to the meeting in the meeting application that Elisa will show you later on. Today it is not possible. Today on the home page we only show links to open meetings, but there's no direct link with the documents. Same will go for links with balloting application. The conversion to the PDF conversion will also be improved to handle more document formats. And there will be also an online preview of the document. So when you access the platform, you can see how the document looks like. And another appreciated feature, I guess, is the bulk upload process. It means that you will be able to select a group of documents on your folder and then to drag and drop them into place in the folder on the CEN document application. Today it is not possible. You have to upload documents one by one. There will be a lot of other goodies also, but you will certainly have the opportunity to have more explanation on this beginning of next year. So this is all for my presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Mark. I will now share my screen to continue with the CEN committee internal balloting. So what we call the CEN CIB. So if you need to create a questionnaire to consult the members of your technical committee for a specific topic, you need to use the CEN committee internal balloting. So here I display on the screen a little workflow for this specific balloting. So this first step, it's the ballot creation. Then when the ballot is open, all the person with a role of balloter in your technical committee will receive a notification. Then they can access and consult the ballot. They cast their vote. There are some reminders that will be sent to the balloters before and at the closure of the ballot. And then the TC secretaries will be notified when the voting results are ready, and they can connect online to download this result and take any follow-up actions. So depending on the topic you want to consult your members for, the use of templates are highly recommended if there are any for your topic. Otherwise, you can still create questionnaire from scratch. So you define your own questions and your own possible answers for the questions. So I will now go online to show you the tool. So when you, so this is a test environment, so don't worry if you see some data that is not very accurate. This is the homepage of the committee internal balloting. So you can see here all the ballots that are currently open and for which you have access to. If you click on a specific ballot, you will see some metadata about this ballot. There are some documents that are linked to the ballots, and also the votes that have been casted by your members, if there are any already. So if you want to create a new ballot, you just need to click on this button. And here you have the possibility either to choose a template or an ad hoc committee internal ballot if you want to create the questions yourself. So for example, let's take the adoption of a new work item. Then you choose your committee. Here you add some information about the ballot. Here you need to indicate if you need a weighted majority or a simple majority. You add the opening and the closing dates. Be careful, by default, it takes the day after. Then you click on next. Oops, I put this value already. Then here in question and answers, you have nothing to do because the template has already defined the question and the possible answers for you. What you just need to do is press create. And here it is. And from here, again, you can link any document. So in this case, it's a ballot for a new work item. So you can attach the new work item form, for example. So now I would like to show you an ad hoc ballot. So the first screens are exactly the same. And here you see that you have to define yourself your questions and answers. So what you need to do is to type your question, give any possible answers that you want to give. For example, yes, no, and abstain. For each answers, you can decide if you don't want to allow to add any comment, or if you want put comment optionals, or comments are mandatory for that answer. Okay. Then you can click on add question to add a new question with, again, all possible answers and so on until you are ready. You press on the button create. Okay, last tab that I would like to show you, when the ballot is closed, you will find it in this tab, closed last 2 weeks. You just need to click on it and you will see that there is a new tab, result. And here you will see the result of the voting, and you can download them as a zip file by clicking on the link here. Okay, so let's go. I'll go back to my slides. So these are some slides that resume what I've shown you just now. In case you need any support, there is a user guide available on the CENTICI server. There is also a webinar available on our CENTELEC website. If you have any business questions, you can contact your responsible project manager at CCMC. And for any functional and technical issues, you can contact our CENHELP desk at ISO. Now, projects online and the working area. We made available for you trainings that have been recorded for this seminar. Just to resume where the tools are. Projects Online is a web application where you can consult the work program of all SEN and SENELEC technical bodies. And Working Area is the tool to be used to submit the decisions taken by your TC. To access Projects Online, you can either use the direct link or access it via the SEN portal, or also via the SEN website in the section Work Area. And to access the Working Area, you need to be connected to Projects Online, and you will see a red button Working Area on the top right of the screen. So in addition of the webinar that was recorded for you, I would like to present a feature that is interesting for you as a technical committee officer. It's the alert system. You might have seen some alert icons appearing next to one or several work items for your TC. It means that an action is expected from the technical committee. Also, if you connect on Projects Online and go to the page of your technical committee, you will see all work items for which there is an alert in the second tab, which is called Alerts. If you mouse over the alert icon, you will see what kind of alert it is. And if you click on it, it will open a page giving you some information about the meaning of this alert and what kind of action is expected from you. Now, I would like to just to inform you that since the 5th of October, we have opened Projects Online to the all SEN and SENELEC experts. Now, the access rights are based on the role of in the SEN Global Directory, and I put it on the right, all the rules that gives an access to Projects Online. So now that the roles, the access is based on the roles on the global directory, we encourage you to connect to Projects Online by using the preferred logins or your SEN Global Directory account. You may still use your local SEN SENELEC account if you contacted us and we sent you a username and password, but please bear in mind that this alternative login will be removed in Q1 next year. Now, I will continue with the SEN meeting registration. So it has been made available for SEN in January 2018. You can access the tool via the SEN portal or also via the e-committee homepage of your TC, as showed by Mark just earlier. You have a direct link to the meetings in the tool. So an important remark here, there is no link between the SEN meeting application and the reservation system for meeting rooms at the SEN SENELEC Management Center. So the procedure remains the same, and you will find it on our SEN SENELEC website. Of course, if you have any questions, you can contact our meeting center. So what can you do with this application? Of course, you can create and manage your committee meetings. It facilitates also the organization and preparation of your meeting. Regarding the participant registration, you can be assured that only authorized person can register to your meeting, and it facilitates also the registration of delegation by the NSBs, the international organizations, the liaisons, etc. Also, the tool allows you to easily extract reports. And regarding the permission, there is nothing for you to do. It depends on the roles assigned on the global directory. So this is a small overview of the roles in SEN meetings. So as TC Secretary, you are a meeting organizer. You can create, manage meetings, provide information, and manage your participants. Then you have the participants, who are the members of the TC, the subcommittee, or the working groups, who can register to one of your meetings. Then we have the meeting coordinator, which is actually the NSB hosting the meeting. And it is the person who will handle invitation letters in case it is needed for a visa, for example. And we have a role in the global directory called meeting participant approver, who this person can register another person in your meeting. So this is an example of a meeting timeline. So once you create a meeting, it has a status proposed. Then when you have filled in all required information for your meeting, you can push on the button confirm, and it will change the status. Then 24 weeks before the start date of your meeting, it will be open for registration for your participants, who can register until 2 weeks before the start date of the meeting. So this is the deadline for self-registration. It is 2 weeks by default, but I will show you afterwards how to change this deadline. So after this deadline, participants can no longer register themselves, but the MPA, the meeting participant approver, can still register person to the meeting. Then when the meeting starts, it changes the status into ongoing, and then into closed when the meeting is finished. Now I will go online to show you the tool. So this is the homepage of the SEN meeting. Again, I'm in on a test environment. So you fall directly into the section My Meetings, where you will find all the ongoing and upcoming meetings for which you have a specific role. You can change the filter here and select anything else. So you see that there is already some information about the meeting. You have the status, the location. You have some icons here. Here it says if it's an on-site meeting or a virtual meeting or both, the number of the meeting, and sometimes you may see a little alert icon if there are some action expected from your side. Now, if I click on a meeting, you see that there is the timeline. And as I explained, we have a deadline for the registration of the participant that you can change. You just need to click on this button here and put another date. And here we go. In the tab attendance, you can see who already registered in your meeting, and you can manage the participants. You can also register a person. in the tab events, you can add any social event linked to your meeting. For example, if you have a dinner planned after the meeting, you can create it here. Here you have some tasks to be fulfilled before the meeting. So this is a kind of a checklist. So when you fulfilled a step here, you just need to click on it. And sometimes, depending on the status of your meeting, you may have some alerts because we expect a specific task to be fulfilled at that moment. So don't worry, even all tasks are not checked. This will not prevent you your meeting to take place. Okay, so if you want to create a meeting, you just need to click on the first button. If you know already the date, you can add it here. Otherwise, you can just select month or even the year of the meeting. Then you click on next.
Sorry to interrupt you, Elisa, but there is a question in relation to this. Is it possible to add the starting time of the meeting on this level? It's just the date.
Yes, I think it was just the slide before. It is the starting time of the meeting.
Maybe I will I will jump in here, Mark speaking. The time, meaning the hour, is something that will come in the next update of the software. I think it's already available in the ISO version, but we are currently 1 or 2 steps behind ISO. So if this is a question, this will be available in a few weeks, I would say.
Okay, excellent. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mark. So I was here. You need to select your committee and then the location, if it's a meeting on site, both on site and virtual or only virtual. Here you can enter the location. For example, let's say that it will take place in our Sense and Elect Management Center. And you can also provide the link to the web conference here. Then you press create. And here it is at the status proposed. And then I can push on confirm to confirm this meeting. Okay, so I will come back to the slide to be sure that I mention everything and to resume what I've just shown. Yes, didn't say a word on the participant profile. It's where you can find some information about your profile, and also you can fill in information about passport in case you need an invitation letter for a visa, for example. The meeting dashboard showed it. You have some details on the meeting, for example, regarding the status, the meeting date, location, and warnings if there are any. In case you need any support, you can contact our SEN help desk at ISO. And there is also the webinar that was made at the launching of this tool, which is available on the SEN and SEN Elect website, which will give you more detailed information. So I will stop talking a little bit and give the floor to my colleague Anna.
Yes, thank you, Lisa. Okay, I will just have a few slides on Zoom. So since the beginning and over the course of the pandemic, I assume that a lot of people heard already or used Zoom. And it was also the time when we at CCMC implemented the tool. And what is Zoom? So Zoom is a web conference tool, and we provide a personal account with no limitation in time. And it also provides access to all the web conference facilities. Where you can find it, or a link to find it, is on the SEN-CENELEC homepage, and the link can be found here in the presentation. And how to request an account is to write an email to webconf@sen-cenelec.eu with your name and email address, with the organization, with the reference of the TC and your eligible role, and if you already have an existing Zoom account. Yes, the eligibility rules are so all roles who can request a Zoom account are active secretaries, conveners, their assistants and acting secretaries, plus the support team. And this is on TC, SC and working group level, all active chairpersons and their support teams. And currently we're discussing also the eligibility for project team leaders, but there is no definite decision yet. Regarding restrictions, so we at CCMC definitely recommend and support Zoom as a tool, but it is not mandatory to use it for your web conferences. You can use whatever tool you have or you prefer, but if you're using Zoom and some of your participants are not allowed, or it's difficult for them to use Zoom, they have alternative ways to join a meeting. For example, you can dial in with your phone. You can use Zoom as a web or mobile application, or you can even use Skype for Business. And the main features of Zoom is definitely that you can organize meetings with video, audio, and collaboration. You can host a meeting, but you can also schedule meetings on behalf of someone else. You can have conferences with up to 500 people. You can record your meeting. You can, during your meeting as a host, you can share your screen, but you can also give the rights to share your screen also to other people, to other participants. You can use the meeting chat, and you can use the function of breakout rooms, which allows to separate into smaller groups and yeah, in kind of rooms and workspaces. And you can use the non-verbal feedback, like raising your hand, giving a thumbs up. And as you already saw during this meeting as well, you can conduct surveys and ask questions into the crowd. And any more information or support for Zoom can be found either on the SEN-CENELEC website, or where you have, or directly on the SEN-CENELEC Zoom site. There's a quick help or a quick guide here that you can access from this presentation. Or as always, you can write an email to webconf@sen-cenelec.eu with your question. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Anna. I will show now another tool, which is called Quick Search. So Quick Search is a web application that is restricted to authorized users only, which give you the possibility to search in an easy way and a direct way on SEN and CENELEC BT decisions, SEN and CENELEC standardization work, and SEN and CENELEC technical bodies. You can access this tool via the direct link, or also via the SEN portal in the section More Applications. Currently, all Projects Online users are allowed to consult standardization work and technical bodies information. Now, regarding the consultation of BT decision, currently only CEN-BT members and CENELEC permanent delegates are allowed to consult this information, but in the Q1 next year, we will extend this access to the CEN and CENELEC TC and subcommittee secretaries and chairs. Now, I will jump online again to show you the tool. So this is the homepage of the quick search. What you just need to do is to type a keyword in a search bar and click on search. Then you have the possibility to select a category. Let's take body, for example. Here you will see on the left menu that more filters appears that you can apply. For example, let's take only active bodies. And now if I click on one of the results, I will be redirected to the technical body page on Projects Online. Now, if I want to remove filters, I just need to press the little cross here. Now, I'm interested in standards. So again, I choose the category standards, and I will then I can then apply some more filters. So for example, let's say that I'm interested in the work linked to a specific mandate or standardization request. And then that I'm interested only on published standards. Then again, if I click on one of the results, I will be redirected to the work item page on Projects Online. Now, regarding BT decisions, it's a little bit different. So I'll remove all my filters and take the category decision. Here again, I can apply some filters. For example, CEN-BT. I can decide to search for a date during a specific period. And then if I click on it, it will open a new tab in the tool quick search itself, where you can find more information about the decision. For example, the decision date, the date from which this decision is applicable. You have also a direct link to any related document related to that decision. And you have the decision text. Okay, so we will conclude now with the forthcoming evolution.
Okay, thank you, Elisa. So just a hint of what is coming next. So if you can move to next slide. So I think it was already mentioned by Mark, but there will be a new e-committee platform which will be based on Nuxeo, so quite aligned with what is done at ISO level. And so we will onboard the technical committees next year, early next year. Then we will also work on the revamping of our website, and we will have a CEN-SELEC website, which will be much more public oriented. And then we will have a specific CEN experts portal page, which will be similar to what you have now as a SEN application portal, but I would say more developed than what we have for the time being. And then the last and not least is the online collaborative authoring, which is an ongoing project. And here we have three objectives. The first one is to provide a true collaborative environment, which is not the case for the time being, where most of the work is based on Microsoft Word, and where we have one author in the committee, which is the convener or the project leader, and who is collecting the contribution from different members of the group and introducing and integrating them in the document. So here the idea is that you can have several authors, and probably if even that's the decision of the project leader or convener, you can potentially have all the members of the working groups who are authors, and then the project leader himself is behaving more as a moderator to accept or reject the modifications which are made in the documents. The next objective is to try to implement and enforce the drafting rules of the internal regulations of SEN and SELEC as early as possible, which is a process which is done mainly for time being at the end when it's reaching CCMC, but the idea is to put those rules at a very early stage. Not only that, but also to provide some, I would say, interesting features, like when you want to add a normative reference instead of having to search yourself and guessing what would be the normative reference. You can start typing the reference of the standards, and then there will be a lookup on the SEN database that will propose the different standards numbering matching the one you are typing, and so you will be able to insert it automatically very easily. And then the third, I would say, objective with this tool is also, as you know, XML is becoming a more and more important format, and it allows to our members to provide added value services to their end customers. And so here with a tool like the online collaborative authoring tools, we are saving directly the content of the standards in XML at the backend. So we get directly, I would say, a proper and clean XML from the very early stage. Next slides, please. So we have just started now a pilot phase where we have onboarded 3 SEN working groups. And as you can see here, there are 3 steps. So the first steps is mainly focused on the authoring of the draft at the working group level, authoring and commenting. And then the step 2 will address the members commenting. So typically, for instance, the integration of the commentings received from the inquiry into Fonto XML. So it makes sense that we don't continue. We're also using exchange of Word documents for the inquiry commenting when we have an ICE tool. So the idea is to integrate that directly in the tool. And then the steps 3, which is the internal editing by CCMC, so the final editing by CCMC of the documents, which should be done also directly in Fonto XML. And then you can see, I think what's important to say also is that it's an iterative process. So we have decided to launch the pilot phase with an MVP, a minimum viable product. So a product which contains very limited functionalities, but the idea is that we build this tool together with the technical committees by getting their feedback and developing a tool which is made for the technical committees, but also with the technical committees. So, and you can see that this whole process will run of developing the tool will run hopefully until September 22. And then from there, we should start, I would say, the deployment to all the technical committees.